Hey everybody, welcome to Hilltop Machine Works. Well, hey everybody, it's Tom here. We are back in the shop for another project, and this is going to be the first project in the new shop layout, so that's kind of exciting. So anyways, what we got is, if you watched my video where I made the electric fence winder upper for Troy, who has a homestead up in West Virginia. His channel is Red Tool House. I made that, and I know he mentioned in his video that he probably wouldn't be reusing it, but I kind of thought about it, and I think it's kind of incomplete. So if he wants to unwind it and use it, then what we need to do is make a handle for it so he can hold the other side. That is the basically layout of what we made. I'll put a link in it so you can go back and watch this video, and you can also reference his video. So because if he wants to unwind it, then he doesn't really need a drill on it. He just needs to be able to hold it, and once he hooks the wire to whatever fence or a tree or whatever, and it starts to pull it, you know, then basically it'll freely unwind. But he needs to be able to hold it. I was thinking, well, you know, he's got the handle here and then where the drill would go, so he's trying to hold it with one hand. So I figure what we need to do is make another handle for that side. And I don't want to make another handle like what's already on it, because we've already done that, right? Let's do something different and fun. So what I figured would do is make a knob. And I picked up this chunk of Delrin. This is 4" in diameter. So what we'll do is we'll make out of that. We'll mill in some radiuses, and of course got to have a bearing in there. So what we'll do is we'll bore it out, pop this bearing in. This bearing has an ID of 1/2 inch, so this is perfect. It'll slide in. This is a 1/2 inch bolt, because if you remember, the end that the drill goes on is a 1/2 inch in diameter where I milled those flats. So that is the plan. We will knock this out and we'll get it to Troy, and that way he can basically, you know, slide this nice big knob on the end. The handle will be here and he can pull it, and life will be good. So that's what this project is going to be. We're going to do a little bit of turning on the lathe, and for fun we'll do the radius work on the mill using the rotary table. So let me get stuff set up and get you over there at the lathe, and we'll get this project rolling. Alright? Alright, I got you set up over here at the Inco. Had to clean her up real good first. You know, cleaning this is next to godliness. Get all the metal up, since we've been turning plastics. This stuff will get everywhere. Got her chucked up, and I think first what we're going to do is we're going to face this, and then kind of made a little drawing. You guys can see what we're going on here. So then what we're going to do is go ahead and drill the hole about 800 thousandths deep, because the stem that's coming off that winder upper is 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75. Oh, that gives us an extra 50 thou depth in that hole, and that's going to be 1/2 inch. We'll drill that, and then we'll bore out the bore for the bearing, and once we get all that, then we'll just cut all this off down here. So this this part, if you want to call it a shank or whatever, will be actually 2 inches. So let's get to it. And let me get got our speed set up. Let's see if I can get all the way out here. I might have to change tools or change the angle of it. Let me see here. I'll pull her out this way. There you go. We're going to take most of it off anyways when we turn it down, but we'll clean it up just for something to start with here. Let's dial that in. Let's see how she does. And let's see here. Since I'm kind of sticking out, I'm only turning about 250 RPMs. Probably better if I try some high-speed steel, but carbide's what I got in her, so we'll give her a shot and see. And I'll tell you what, let me do this by hand. It'll take forever here. Alright, let's take some more since it's all cut. Should clean up now. Alright, so we're going to be taking all this off anyway, so we're good. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's go ahead and drill a hole. And alright, let's drill a hole. I got this parabolic drill bit in here, so we'll see how she clears out these chips, and we'll take her 800 thou deep. Right there, let's zero this puppy. And, oh yeah, nice. There you go, that's all to it. Alrighty, you're looking at a 1-inch 2-flute end mill regrind. So it's close to an inch, but we need the whole 1 inch and 258 thou. So just going ahead and plunge cut this thing. We got to go depth of basically the width of the bearing, which is 0.393, so about 395 is fine. And then we'll bore out the final. So let's do it. Zero it in, and as you can see, one flute is making contact where the other one is. About halfway there. Coming up on our number now, and 395. Okay, let me get the boring stuff set up, and we'll bore this hole out to the depth we need. Boring bar set up, got my depth set, so let's do a cut and kind of see where we're at diameter wise. That's the whole bottom there. We can probably just use my caliper for it now so we get close. 1 inch and about 4.5 thou. Alright, so about 200, and then we'll check what we need. Take a deep cut. Let's come in. See if she'll take that. Plastic is pretty forgiving, as you can see. Don't have these hot chips flying at you. Alright, that was 100th thou. Let's do another. Zero that out. See about where we're at. Should be good. Alright, about 202 thou. Okay. Gonna peck away at it and I'll bring you back for the final. Well, I took my final bore. I was at 248 and I needed 258. So I dialed in 5 to take 10,000ths off total, and unfortunately plastic isn't as rigid, and I ended up taking about 12 off. So instead of a press fit, you can see she just kind of slides in. So oh well, before I shove it in and get stuck, we'll just have to put a little epoxy or something on her and she'll hold. But you know, I wanted a press fit, but oh well, sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. Now let me get set up and we'll just shave all this down. See if she'll take 100th thou. Got to go in 750 thou. Yeah, not a problem. We're going deeper next cut. Alright. This is the only problem is stringy chips. Anybody need a necklace? Alright, let's go in 150. Over there. All right. Alrighty, well you get the idea. I'm gonna keep chewing down it and I'll bring you back probably maybe the final pass. Alrighty, I'm finishing up my last pass. one thing good about it is it's one long string and it pulls out nice and makes it easy to clean up. All right, I'm gonna go clean this face up here, and I think I'm just gonna touch this face here just to make it look nice. Might as well. So let's go ahead and come over here, see where we're at. It won't take about 5 thou to clean up. Do that. Nice clean face. Get off of there. Let's clean that face up. Take much. That's about 4 thou. Yeah, sound like it was enough, was it? Nope. Tad bit more, about another 4. There you go, that looks good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just skim this OD, clean it up just a hair, and then we are going to run a parting blade. I don't want to try to part this whole thing, probably just gonna run in maybe 1 inch, because this is a 4-inch diameter. I mean, I had to have a parting blade sticking out 2 inches. Even though this is plastic, it may take it, but it may grab the blade and break it. So we'll probably just get it started to get where I want it, and then finish up on the bandsaw. So let's clean up this outer part just a smidgen. See where we're at. 0. I want 3/4 of an inch. Take her there. Just kissing it right there. 0 in, going about 5 just to clean it out. Just skimming the outside. Thou to go. Alrighty, we are there, folks. Let me get my parting blade out, and we'll start to cut this thing off. Alright, parting blade is in. I moved her out a little over 750 thou. That way we can turn around and clean the face up just a smidgen. So let's plunge in a little bit here. Getting caked up in there and I want to get gummy and grab. That's what I was worried about. You can see that on the camera. It's probably about as deep as I want to go. I'll take it over to the bandsaw and finish it up before I screw something up and break that blade. Alright, we are set up over here at the bandsaw. Be able to hold the block real well. I had to use my 246 block behind it. That way to even out the pressure in the vise so the Delrin doesn't want to spin. But just cutting it along. That's a nice aggressive 4 to 6 tooth blade. So once that's done, we'll take her back over to the lathe, clean up that face, and then we'll be ready to mill some radiuses on the top. Well, there she is, all finished up. I just took her over and faced her after we got her off the bandsaw, broke the edges. So this is going to be the knob. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and mix up some epoxy, put this in, and then that'll be nice and rigid with the bearing in there. That way we can hold this in the 3-jaw chuck in the rotary table, and then we'll come in here and we'll cut us some radiuses so you have a nice grip. So I'm going to mix it up, put it in there, let it sit overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll get to the mill. So I just want to mention that this is why you offset your vise on your mill, so you don't have to remove it when you want to use another piece of equipment like the rotary table, an indexer, or maybe a 5C collet assembly. So you still have real estate and you can just plop it up there. If you're one of those guys that likes to keep your vise in the center, then you would have to remove it, and then you stick your rotary table up there, and then you got to put it back and tram it. So kind of a pain. So a little trick there is to offset your vise to the side. And what I do about every 6 months is I move the vise from left to right. That way also you are reducing the wear on your lead screw if you had your vise in the middle, because you would constantly travel just in this distance here. So now I'm using the lead screw on this area, and then when I move the vise I'll be using the lead screw on this area, so that way you have evenly wear around on your lead screw. So just a pointer there. Let me throw the rotary table up here, and then I'll get it dialed in and we'll get to some cutting. About all set up. I had to change the jaws, so now I've got some protective pieces I'm going to put in here so we don't mar this edge right here. And this is some flashing that Jim Deadman gave me. I appreciate that, Jim. He's a friend of mine. He's got a YouTube channel. It goes by his name, James Deadman. If you get a chance, check him out. He does some machining. He's got a shop in his backyard. He's about an hour away, so we get together every now and then. What I'm going to do here is just place these on these jaws and put her in there, and then tighten her up. Doesn't have to be super snug, just enough to grab it so it doesn't turn on us. Alrighty. Alright, hope you can see that pretty good. I think we're all set up. Let's cut some radiuses here. See what kind of speed we got. Pretty slow right now. And we'll just go in a little bit and get my zero when we touch, and then we'll figure out about how much depth we want. Play it by ear. See what she looks like. Maybe go in about 1/4 inch, 250 thou or so. Alright, that's 250 right there. cutter to stop. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's not bad at all. All right, cool, that works. Now I just unlock the rotary table. And to make it easy, we're going to do 6 of them. So that's just 60 degrees each rotation, or each movement, should I say. So 6 times 6 is 36. Add the 0, that's 360. If you remember geometry class. So I already took the backlash out of it. So let's rotate. Coming up on 60 now. Alright, lock the table. And we'll do another cut. And I did, before off camera, make sure clearance is good so we didn't hit a jaw here. So let's do another one. Guess I'm gonna have to snug her down even harder. Man, I didn't want to crush her, but so I gotta pay attention so she doesn't move on you. Look at that. Alrighty. Let me get her reset now, because now she's gonna be not the right height. Hold on. Bozo's trying to visit the shop. Alright, I readjusted and cinched her down, so hopefully she is not gonna move. And I tried to index her exactly where we're at, so let's give it a whirl. All right, 250. On to 120. You get the gist of it. I'll get the other 3 knocked out. Well, there you go. Just made the last cut. So now we got a knob. Got to get it out, and we're going to clean all these edges up. Well, guys, there you go. One functioning knob for Troy. So I think the project came out nice. Wasn't too bad. A little quickie, kinda. And if this was the electric fence winder upper, then like I said, it would go on one end, he'd be holding it on the other end, and so you can just reel it in and out. Slides on. If he doesn't need it, just put it away. He's reeling it in, he put his drill on it. So I think we got a winner there. So hey, if you're coming from Red Tool House and you're now a subscriber, I appreciate you coming over to the channel. I hope you enjoy this kind of stuff. I hope you find it interesting. And if you're not sure what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, leave comments. I'll be glad to explain stuff. And to all my other subscribers, I appreciate you following along. The channel is growing. That's pretty exciting. We're getting close. The next milestone will be 500. Hopefully we can get it this summer. So anyways, give me a thumbs up. You know, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That way I know you're here. and I'll catch you guys on the next project. All right.